When musician Jackson Frank moved to England from the States in the 1960s, he quickly became one of the most promising voices on the London folk scene. But today, he's mostly forgotten. He made just one record in 1965, produced by a young Paul Simon. Recorded in just 3 hours, his self-titled effort has become a lost classic, an album filled with dissonant honesty, realism, and a complexity that dares you to keep listening.
Don't look back over your shoulder. Keep your eye on freedom's shore. 'Cause you know the brave men with you also pay the wages of war.
Jackson Frank's life was never easy. Trauma and disaster impaled Frank during most of his existence. At the age of 11, a fire in his school killed many of his classmates and left him with burns over most of his body. Recovering from the fire was painfully slow for Jackson, but his school tutor brought along an old guitar to help his spirits. Frank learned a few chords, recovered from the fire, and began writing music.
Gold on silver is the autumn, soft and tender are her skies. Yes and no are the answers written in my true love's eyes.
At the age of 21, Frank received $100,000 in insurance money from the fire. With the cash, he moved to England and shared a London flat with fellow American musicians Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. Simon, who was himself at the time a struggling folk singer, was impressed enough to produce Frank's self-titled album. The record was recorded in just 3 hours, and Frank was so nervous that he hid behind a screen while playing. That first and only album turned out to be a classic that most people have never heard of, and a young Al Stewart played guitar on the record. It was Stewart's debut recording, and you can hear him on this song called Yellow Walls.
Yellow walls that shine like silver, dark green windows stare never closed. From yellow walls that shine like silver, through the hands I choose to hold.
The song Blues Run the Game may be Frank's most well-known composition, a song that describes how he felt about life and his future at the time. It talks about a young man haunted by his past, with too much money and too much gin. Over the years, the song has been covered by Simon and Garfunkel, Counting Crows, and Colin Meloy of the Decemberists.
Catch a boat to England, baby, maybe to Spain. Wherever I have gone, wherever I've been and gone, wherever I have gone, the blues are all the same. Send out for whiskey, baby, send out for gin. Me and room service, honey, me and room service, babe. Me and room service, well, we're living a life of sin.
Frank's first attempt to do a very serious song was called Dialogue. In a 1995 interview, he said that he was leaning toward a European influence with weighty lyrics.
I want to be alone. I need to touch each stone, face the grave that I have grown. I want to be alone. Before all the days are gone and darker walls are bent and torn, to pass the time of those who mourn, I want to be
the other direction, the song Just Like Anything is a pure nonsense song, according to Frank. He was aiming for some comic relief.
Just like anything, to sing, to sing, to sing is a state of mind. Sunlight dances slowly on a drum beat's broken rhyme. I speak in answers only to see them in my mind. If I had a penny, I'd throw it in the sea to see if it would float away or grow up any tree.
Frank's album was well received in British folk circles, but sold virtually nothing in the United States. Even Nick Drake recorded one of his songs, along with Sandy Denny, Bert Jansch, Dave Cousins, and Tom Paxton.
I've seen your face in every place that I'll be going. I read your words like black hungry birds read every sowing. Rise and fall, spin and call, and my name is Carnival.
After running out of the insurance money, he moved back to the U.S. and fell into deep depression after losing his son. In 1984, he went back to New York City to find Paul Simon, but ended up sleeping on street corners instead. He was treated for paranoid schizophrenia when he actually had depression caused by the trauma he'd experienced as a child. In the early 90s, a folk music fan found him in New York City and convinced Jackson to move to Woodstock so he could help him. Soon after, Frank was sitting on a bench while awaiting the move to Woodstock when some teenagers shot him in the left eye with a pellet gun, blinding him in that eye. During this time, Frank began recording some demos of new songs, but they were unfortunately abandoned. Jackson Frank died of pneumonia and cardiac arrest in Massachusetts on March 3, 1999. He was 56.
Wondering and waiting, my back against the wall. Not a word that passed between us comes to call. Just your shadow on the window and your step on down the hall. You never wanted me, babe. You never knew me at all.
Though Jackson Frank never achieved fame during his lifetime, his only record lives on. It may be a lost call classic today, but many who know the songs think of it as one of the best introspective folk albums of the 1960s. Today, the album is available on CD in a couple different formats. The version released by Sanctuary is out of print, but still easily found online. It contains an additional disc of material with a plethora of bonus tracks. Jackson Frank, remembering a lost classic on the Alleycast, from folkalley.com.
Catch a boat to England, baby, maybe to Spain. Wherever I have gone, wherever I've been and gone, wherever I have gone, the blues are all the same.